All right, everyone. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start the meeting. I am going to call this meeting to order and let Dane go ahead with roll call.
Justice Peters, Senator Hebb,
Here.
Senator Andrews, Senator Adam, Senator Bevel, Senator Page, Senator Okafor, Senator Meyer, Senator Kirkby,
Here.
Senator Otiocha, Senator Campbell, Senator Crisply, Senator Kelly, Senator Parchman, Senator Francis,
Yeah.
Senator Arcienko, Senator Barnes, Senator Young, Senator Chidima Obiora, Senator Chioma Obiora, Senator George, Senator Lopez, Senator Yizak, Senator Desharla, Senator Villalobos, Senator Gomez, Senator Stefanski, Senator Ontiveros, Senator Scott, Senator Lubale, Senator White.
All right, now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and move on to approval of minutes. Here are the minutes. Dane sent them out. I'm just going to scroll through them quickly. I entertain a motion to vote on the minutes for last week. Okay. All those in favor of last week's minutes, please raise your hand. If you were on Zoom, please raise your hand as well. Okay, thank you. If you are against last week's minutes, please raise your hand. Any abstentions to last week's minutes, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Those have passed. So I'm going to move on. Is anyone here for open forum? Okay, seeing none. We do not have anyone for speakers podium this week. We'll move on to officer reports. So my officer report for this week is pretty slim. I met with Andy Petit a few weeks ago, had a great meeting with him. I met with Ona Tolliver, had a great meeting with her, just talking about what SGA is doing, how everything's been going, talked a little bit about midnight breakfast and some of her feedback on that. Overall, she thought it was a really great event and had great things to say about it. So all of the faculty and staff that I've met with since then has been super excited on seeing how much midnight breakfast has grown. And so that's really exciting. I met with Catherine Lake, who is she is kind of over the future for the university. She has a lot of great ideas. She does want to start meeting with myself and you guys, so somebody from every college, and getting y'all's feedback on that. And so it's not just from me. So I think that'll be really exciting. I'll start contacting you guys individually soon so that you guys can come to meetings with me and we can talk about the university. But that's all I have for my officer report this week. Vice President Romero.
Hey everybody, Vice President Romero. I've been out sick for like the past week and a half, so I apologize for that. Thank y'all for being so patient with me. We had midnight breakfast and we had Arbor Day since I last saw y'all. It was really great. I really appreciate all of you for showing up and really putting in that work. I think it's really shows how great of teamwork we have in SGA. Yeah, the turnout was great for both. I'm really happy about it. For future planning, we have the toy drive that we're going to have, and then we have the nursing finals bag and the UT campus wide finals bag. So I'm really looking forward to planning those with y'all.
Secretary Adams.
Hey everyone, Secretary Adams. This week I've been working on the minutes as well as getting those new senators updated on and shown on the website.
Treasurer Marcato is not here today, so I will move on to Chief of Staff Richardson.
Chief of Staff Richardson, been busy just with schoolwork and stuff like that, make sure everything's going smoothly with our back end with rules and stuff like that. That's pretty much it for the moment. I know we're getting somewhat close to the end of the semester. We're kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, so everyone's kind of dropping down for that. So just keep at it. You guys have been doing great.
Thank you. Moving on to committee reports, I'm going to start with events.
Vice President Romero, events did not meet. I was sick.
Communications.
Also for communications, we did not meet this past week, but we have a lot of different things moving forward, especially as it relates to the service projects.
SGAC.
Hi, for SGC, we met with Patriots for Psychology for their Painting Smiles Campus Art for Kids event on the 20th of November. Put them on hold to next week as their event was not on Patriot Gauge, and all they asked for was Walmart items, which is okay, but put them on hold till next week. Pi Theta Kappa, I think I'm saying that right, and Logos Student Senate joint event for their dog food drive on the 11th at 5 p.m. We as a committee approved them for up to $280 and one item from Walmart and to find a new vendor. And the Society of Women of Engineers for their Women Engineering Breaking Boundaries with a guest speaker on the 19th. Put them on hold because their event was also not on Patriots Engage.
Thank you. Moving on to rules.
Rules did not meet last week, so we'll go ahead and pass.
ESC.
Yes, Senator Kirby. Sorry, I can't have my face camera on. I just got our rotation and 6:35 is a mess. We did meet last week and we're just talked about some events that we are planning for the future. So just stay tuned for that.
Thank you, Senator Kirkby. Okay, moving on to student voice reports. First is the School of Health Professions. Is anyone here from School of Health Professions? I don't think so. Okay, next is School of Medicine.
Hello, everyone. Here is Senator Anne Francis. And for the School of Medicine, basically the semester is going on pretty fine. And but now we're currently recruiting, the biotech program is currently recruiting for fall 2025. The PhD program for the biomedical science is also in progress, and they are like in the final stage of getting an approval for the PhD program to begin. So that's it.
Thank you. Now moving on to the Honors College.
Hi, everyone. I'm Senator Barnes. So I met with the Dean of the Honors College, which is Paul Strickland, and is it on? Oh, okay. Things. So one of which being the liberal arts night. Had a really good turnout, which was about 250 people in attendance. And he said that it's actually one of the biggest turnouts that we've ever had as an honors college, which is super good and super exciting as we get more freshmen. And we need a larger meeting space since we lost the OAC. So we're trying to find something for that. Last week was the NCHS. 7 students presented, 3 students had posters, one of which being Senator Adams, and we also had over innovative honors class as well. There is a colloquium this Thursday 6, and anyone's invited to attend. It's not just honors, so y'all should totally come and see that. It'll be about there will be a guest speaker, Dr. Botswala. Excuse my pronunciation there. It'll be over pathological ambition, unraveling the mind for meaningful success. And then for Saturday, we just have Logos trash pickup this Saturday at 9 a.m. So y'all should come to that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else for the Honors College?
Oh my goodness. Senator, Senator Arsenko. So there was an article published about honors college, what is it, in the Patriot Polls Journal. And one of the things that article talks about, so the student who did that article, which was me, interviewed Dr. Stroffer, the Dean of Honors College, and Dr. Stroffer said that we had 20 students in 2009, and he and everyone is expecting to grow up to 300 students by the fall of 2025. So that's exciting. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice report. Okay, moving on to old business. Does anyone have anything to add for old business? Okay, seeing none, moving on to new business. I entertain a motion to open new business. I entertain a motion to open a housing discussion. Okay, so what I want to get out of this discussion is kind of your opinions on how housing is going this semester, kind of how move-in was, how you feel that housing has been handling things over the past semester, and things that they could possibly improve on, or what they could do to make your lives better and your living situation better. So, yeah.
Senator Lopez, all right, so I guess something that housing could work on is essentially sharing information or working on getting information shared, because I'm a foster care student here at UT Tyler, and I was not aware that I had priority housing, and so I was trying to go from U Pines to Liberty Landing, because I wasn't informed in that, I had assumed that I was put on the wait list because they were trying to accommodate freshmen or underclassmen. And so I renewed my lease with U Pines. And then one day out of the blue, during the summertime, I get a call from the housing department, housing office. And they're like, hey, you never filled out which apartment you wanted to move in. And I was like, what do you mean? What move in? You guys told me that I was essentially waitlisted. So I like canceled that and went to U Pines. Well, apparently there's priority housing for students who are like foster care or had aged out the foster care system into the school. But I was not aware of that fact till that day that they called me up and told me about it.
Thank you. That is very interesting. So, when you guys do receive information, they want your opinion on, do you feel like email is the best way to get news out to you guys, or do you like the text message system that housing is used? I know that was something that Dean Petit brought up in our meeting, and he was really curious about how you guys like to receive your information.
Senator Young, so something I've noticed living at U Pines and kind of all around campus is our sprinkler system. For some reason, it is always on, and I fear that it waters more of the concrete and roads than the actual grass. So I will be walking back from class in U Pines, and the parking lot is completely flooded. And I know a lot of students are complaining about this too, and everyone will get like water and their clothes wet because the sprinklers are facing the parking lot and sidewalks where people walk. And I know this is not just U Pines. I know it's kind of all over campus. So we're also wasting a lot of water because it poured rain. And for some reason, right before it was raining and during the rain, the sprinklers were going. Yeah, so I feel like that needs to be looked at.
Anyone else with questions?
Vice President Romero, regarding the information, like the way they give out information, I used to work for housing, guys. So normally they'll send out emails for like health and safeties or like some other important events that are going on, like information sessions that you need to, go to. I think it's important to have so a lot of students don't check emails. We know that. And so email is important and I think it should continue. However, only send text messages, not for if they're having an event or something. Only send messages for important things such as health and safeties or mandatory events that residents need to go to. So I think just having that limit is beneficial.
Yeah, so Dean Petit had informed me that 2 years ago, so would have been 22, 23, they had sent out a lot of text messages, and the text message was kind of for everything pertaining to housing. And so this year they really tried to back that off a little bit and make sure it's just more important things and events they really want to see students at, instead of, your phone getting kind of blown up by housing texts with all the information you need to know. So they have tried to kind of back that down a little bit and make a little bit a better situation for that. Anyone else with housing questions, comments?
I don't know who's in charge of this. I'm assuming it's housing, but I could be wrong. But safety concerns, if something situation arises, um, I feel like it would be better if housing communicated that through text than email, because there was a situation during the summertime at Upines that me and my roommate weren't aware of because they emailed it in the morning, and so we didn't check our emails till the afternoon.
Okay, so you're basically saying if there's a safety concern that concerns the entire apartment complex, that they should send
Send
out
it.
a text instead of an email, just to
Yeah.
vets. Okay, perfect. Anyone else? Housing?
Senator Crisply. Oh, I can't speak for the other housing complexes, but I live at Patriot Village, and one thing I've noticed is there's not a designated recycling bin area. So everyone just kind of throws away their recycling and it's very wasteful. So I feel like that's definitely something that could be worked on, getting a designated recycling bin.
Okay, thank you. Senator Young.
Senator Young, I'll comment on that. So I live here, and the only recycling plant near Tyler that Tyler utilizes is in Kilgore, and it burned down. So right now we cannot recycle. But for the future, I think it'd be nice to implement that. But right now we cannot recycle because the plant burned down.
Thank you for that information. We appreciate that. I did not know that, so thank you. Right back.
Senator Gomez, so I'm actually senator for Upines, and a lot of people have shared their concerns about our parking because we have VIP parking, and some people said that they have not been aware that we even had that until our I feel like we had an RA meeting yeah, it was really quickly, so people didn't know. And I have a lot of pictures because I'm also an RHA and I have shared with the president. The VIP parking's almost always just empty. And so a lot of people park in the visitors parking because there's no parking because most of the other ones are VIP and we can't park there, regular people can park there. And so they all just park in the visitors parking. And we just don't think it's fair just because we lose a lot of parking spots due to the VIP parking. So yeah, that's what I can say on that.
Thank you. Is anyone here that lives in Grande Village or one of the outside facilities that would like any input into their housing and how it's going this semester?
Senator Scott here. In terms of the actual how it's going, it's been pretty good for the most part. We have actual property managers over at Grande, so a lot of concerns actually end up going through them. There was trash, they put cameras, started finding people essentially. And but one of the problems that we do have is even for the RAs and stuff, we don't have a clubhouse for either Grande Village or Omen Hill. So whenever we do go meet with them, they just find an empty apartment, and then we all just kind of pack in there for the meetings with the RAs. I've also talked to the RHA president, Ronnie, about it as well, and he said he was going to go talk to Joe about that. But at least as of right now, I think housing is kind of going against keeping a I guess, dedicated apartment for it.
Okay, thank you. Moving on.
Senator Okafor, I heard news that they were going to be selling back Grande and Omen. And I was wondering if anyone heard anything about that.
I don't know about the validity of them selling back both. I think it probably depends on pricing and things like that, whether they're going to do that, but I'm not 100% sure. We have a question, Senator White.
Senator White, I live at Omen Hill. The issue with the clubhouse is kind of frustrating too. I don't know anybody there, and so it's kind of weird not knowing anybody there. Also, we've been having an issue with the front gate. It's been a week now and it still hasn't been fixed. They're telling us it's going to be another week, but my concern is it's open all the time. And I don't like that. And that's kind of, even though I can like lock on my doors and stuff, we don't have like the padlocks or anything like that. It's just a regular lock. And it's really kind of uncomfortable that anybody can go in there. And that's a little frustrating. So
Okay, I'll talk to housing about that. And see.
yeah, because I talked to one of the RAs last week and he told me basically it was going to get fixed. At first it was, okay, it's going to be open for a night, but now it's been 2 weeks. So
Yeah, that could be a property thing where housing doesn't have much control over the situation. But I can definitely check and see. Right here.
Senator Lopez, it also might be a property thing, but I feel like this is something maybe housing can ask that property gets better at communicating. At U Pines, a lot of the time the gates do break, like a lot of time, but sometimes you aren't really told that the gate's broken until you show up at the gate and it won't let you in. So I feel like it would be very beneficial to the students if they're informed ahead of time, whether they're coming back from classes or they're walking in the rain like yesterday and you can't get in because the pedestrian gate won't let you in. So I feel like be better communication between the property managers and housing on when those gates are broken and to communicate to the students.
So is it kind of a general consensus that communication between properties not owned by housing and the housing department is kind of lacking in that sense? Okay. Anything else with housing that we want to discuss? Any issues or updates?
Senator Meyer, my only concern is the raccoons, because I'm scared of raccoons. So I don't know if we can call like pest control or something, but yeah.
Yeah, depending on where you live, a lot of it's a wooded area, so that's kind of the challenge with obviously rodents and things like that is we do live kind of in the piney wood area, so that's kind of a hard fix sometimes. Anyone else?
Senator Andrews, I don't know if this is like a housing thing, but whenever you're trying to exit, like say the Foundry, people tend to park like right along the entrance and exit. So it's really hard to see if vehicles are oncoming because people tend to really speed on I think that's Patriot Drive. People tend to like or what is it, Varsity Drive? People tend to like really speed down that road. So potentially if they could do something about that, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be more of a PD issue with the parking on that road. It is a city street, so it just depends on what we can do about that, but I can let them know. Anyone else?
On that, like, okay, well, I don't live on campus or anything, but I do know on that road, I'm pretty sure like there's no parking signs, but I see people parking there all the time.
Yeah, so I think it's the city and the university have kind of come to a consensus that people are going to park there. I think whether you give tickets or not, it is going to happen. So there is a way that we could stop people from parking, in dangerous places. But yeah, I think it's kind of a consensus that parking is needed and people are going to park there whether there's signs or not. So, anyone else?
Chief of Staff Richardson, I know this has been brought up before because it's the exact same spot, but in addition to cars being on both sides of that road, I've heard from numerous students that pedestrians also just roam that street just wherever they want to cross. So it is not predictable where you're going to find a person. And it's hard to check left or right if there's cars in either way. So I've heard that numerous times. I know that's been brought up before though. So just reemphasizing, I suppose. But
yes, thank you. Right there.
Senator Lopez, and I was reached out by a concerned student earlier in semester about this, and he forwarded me like a response that was given to him by the Parking and Transportation Division. And apparently there has been no updates from the chief, Mike Miters, who contacted the city of Tyler traffic engineer.
Okay.
And that was the 30th of October.
Okay. I will get on that. But do we feel that it may be beneficial for there to be a crosswalk on an actual designated crosswalk on Varsity Drive? General consensus is yes. Okay. Anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns about this housing discussion? Okay. Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close this housing discussion. Thank you. Does anyone have anything to add for new business? Okay, seeing none, I'll move on to advisor comments.
The recordings in the minutes. I'm sorry. No, I was gonna say a lot of good, got a lot of great feedback. I think y'all are contacting the right folks as far as to provide updates. Housing for many years has consistently gotten better and better, and I think students are because of the experience they provide and the proximity and as part of financial aid. You know, more and more students are wanting to be in housing, and so it's always a student-centered mindset, and so they want to hear the feedback. If it's a lot of the concerns are in reference to third parties, housing is still going to go to bat and address those concerns and try to help bridge that gap as far as communication. If it's something that the UD Tyler owns and manages, I can promise they're going to quickly address that as well. And so a lot of good pieces of information. Going through everything else, that's it. So that's all the pieces of information I got. Yep.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, moving on to announcements. So there are several committees that have reached out to me and asked for students to serve on them. A lot of them are starting to plan for their quarterly or semesterly meetings. So the first one is Student Service Fee Committee. One person is needed for that. Parking Citation Appeals Committee, one is needed for that as well. And then the Medical Services Advisory Committee, 4 people are needed. So if you are interested in any of these committees, I do have more information about them. They all kind of gave me a paragraph of what students will do and how they will participate. So if you are interested, please reach out to me or come to me after the meeting and we can get you set up on committees. They're honestly most of the time really interesting and it gives you a little bit more insight into kind of the inner workings of the university. So I would definitely try to get onto one of those if you can and if you have time. But that is all that I have for that. Pack the Pantry. So Student Success is doing a Pack the Pantry event, basically bringing non-perishable items and donating it to our pantry on campus. The pantry has really seen a lot of increase in student usage this year, and they're really in need of items. So I think it's a great way that we can give back. If you would like to participate, you can bring non-perishable items to the SGA office. I will be donating them. I believe it's the 18th. I could be wrong. I will let you guys know though. Please bring your non-perishables. Look in your pantries because a lot of the times we buy stuff and we don't use it for 6 months. and it's probably going to just go to waste. So please, if you have anything, let me know. I would love to work with you and help the pantry out. So yeah. Other than that, we do have a birthday in the house tonight. Senator Arcienko, it's her birthday. So we have a tradition of singing happy birthday. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy
Anya, happy birthday to you.
Yes, happy birthday. For next week, we do not have anything, but happy voting day. So I hope you all went to vote and used that right that you have. So that's all I have for this week, and I entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Yeah. Run,